all my life was breaking hearts. My brothers, my mom and dad's, I felt like a big disappointment. And I thought, Lord, if that's all, unless you're real, I'm done. I don't want no more of this life, because all I've been doing so far is messing up. And so my grandma had a great love for Jesus, her and my dad, and I said, if you're for real, I need you. I can't deal with my life. I need you to take it and take control. And he was there. He filled me with his presence and with the joy of salvation and changed everything right then and there.
Amen. And how old were you when that
I
happened?
was 16.
You were? Wow, okay.
I was 16.
Wow.
And he made me feel loved, and it was all right that I'd been a mess up, because that's not all I was, you know.
Right.
I was much more than that.
That's what Satan wanted you to think.
Yes. Oh. Yes. He had me on the brink of destruction, but Jesus snatched me away.
Amen.
So,
That's so like Jesus.
It's so like Jesus. So, for the next almost 2 years, I sang, and I was so close, just so close to him and everything. And then I met this good-looking young man with a sense of humor, and I asked him how he feels about God, and he goes, oh, I guess he's the man in the sky or something. Well, I thought, poor Jerry, he wasn't close to his family. So I figured Jesus and I could fix him.
Absolutely, yes.
You know,
yes, we
there's
fixed
no
the
way
man,
we
yes.
couldn't show him what real love is and all this. Long story short, it became destroying me instead of fixing him.
Yeah.
And that's where I've started entering out from the Lord. Was with that relationship. I lost a baby boy, and then I had a daughter with him. And I was done with him, and I got married again. This man was opposite. He did not physically or mentally abuse me. He treated me awesome. And I had my second daughter with him. He just died of massive heart attack about 14 years ago. We had divorced, but because I was in the drugs and stuff, and I started getting into him, and he was an alcoholic.
Oh boy, that's tough.
Yeah, but he wasn't an abusive one, you
Thank
know.
God for that.
Yes, he did. He was one of those that drank and passed out. No matter where you're at.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that marriage, and had 2 beautiful daughters, 6 years apart. And when my oldest daughter was 14, she left us because she wanted to meet her dad, which was a physically and mentally abusive one.
Yeah.
So she went to Modesto and fell in love with his girlfriend's little brother and didn't come home, which was really hard
I bet.
on my youngest daughter.
I bet.
Yes. So, and it was hard on me too.
Sure.
I wanted her back.
Sure.
But
Sure. Mommies always want their babies
Of
close
course.
to home. Yeah.
again, I met this young, handsome young man
Sit
that
with us.
I know. And by then, I'm an alcoholic. I had been an alcoholic for 6 years. I was working at a restaurant and stuff, but
So you were kind of a high
I was a
functioning.
functioning
Yes.
alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can relate to that.
And when I met him, meth became the thing. Talk about a walk down through the devil's territory.
Boy.
17 years. So I wasn't there for my daughters, and this is my biggest part of the message. This is the part I want everyone to know.
Okay, you
If
look
you're
right in that
stuck-
camera, Nowana.
If you're stuck in addictions, alcoholism, these vices are stealing you from your children. They don't have you. I don't care how much you think you can be a good parent and have a habit. That habit comes first. There's no two ways about it. And that attention you're giving them, you're thinking about other things. So they don't have you. That might be hard to hear, but I know when I look back, I wasn't there for my children. I couldn't be there. I was too concerned with getting drunk or getting high. I hate to admit it like that, and it's of course always more to it than that. But the Lord will save you. He knows, like Jesus said, He came to save sinners. And the people it's like we've lost our free will. Those that are addicted, He knows. He's so full of mercy. And again, He rescued me after 17 years. 17 years, and I knew in my heart that I was hurting Him, but I just kept shutting it out and shutting it out. And in spite of all that, He was merciful. When my last grandson was born, I couldn't stand being an addict anymore. I'd already lost all my family and everything else. My poor daughters, they were kind of... Karina was doing great, my oldest daughter. She had 5 children. She didn't live near us. So I didn't get to see those grandchildren very often, and her very often, but I guess in a way it was a good thing. But when I went to her place when I got clean for the last time, I took the baby with me because his mama, I tricked her and said that I was only going to take him for 2 weeks. But we stayed for 5 months.
Wow.
And from the time I left here clean with that baby.
Yeah.
And I praise God because I think He used that baby because I thought there's no way I can let him grow up with a junkie grandma. Who's going to teach him about Jesus?
Amen.
And I spent 2 weeks before we left in the floor of a motorhome crying and begging, and I would not go out and get a fix for nothing. I sat there in the floor and asked God for forgiveness for all those sins I've been doing for so long, and told Him I want you back. I never forgot those 18 months back when I was 16. And it's a good thing, or I might have never, that I had that time, or I may have never found the Lord if it wasn't for that. And so...
Don't despise small beginnings, or the day of small beginnings. Is that what the word says?
Oh, yes!
So sometimes that seed is planted, it takes a long time for that to germinate.
Oh, boy. And I'll tell you, my joy in Him, after Him forgiving you so much, it's tenfold.
Amen.
I still, after 10 years of being clean and sober, I mean, I didn't touch nothing, you know. He cleansed me totally.
Amen.
And what's amazing is usually you have to go through rehab and stuff. Well, when I got around my other grandchildren and into the Word, I dove into the Word. And they got to see Grandma doing that,
Amen.
you know, and I
Amen.
got to enjoy them. And life become a whole real living again. He gives us life, and He cleans us, and He can get rid of your problems. He can take away your addictions. And you got to want Him more than anything. In fact, it was just the other day it come to me that the first law that God has is to love Him with all our hearts, minds, and strength. Well, it makes perfect sense. Unless we do that, the vices and everything in this world can grab us.
Yeah, they're strong.
Real easy,
Yeah.
yes.
And
So
He's
it
stronger.
take-
Amen,
oh,
right?
hallelujah.
Woohoo! Thank you for
Oh,
that one.
yes.
But I agree with you. I think it started with me on my face when I got clean and sober from meth, but it took the Word to keep me there.
Yes.
Because there's nothing that we go through that's not in the Word. There's nothing in there that we can't fix anything through God's Word. Everything's in there. We think where we have a unique situation.
All the answers are there. Forgive me.
Take a minute, because we can cut this out. Don't we, cut it?
Oh. So.
You got all excited, see? God will
Thank
do that
you.
to you.
He sure will. He does. I love worshiping Him and loving Him every moment and every morning, and it don't matter if I can't breathe. He's holding me in His
That's
arms.
amazing. Put your nasal.
Oh, they do slip.
I know. So yeah, oxygen's essential.
Oh yeah, I found that out.
So Nowana, your testimony is so amazing, and I think what touches me and a lot of other people that maybe they don't tell you that, and we should more, is that you've gone through a lot of physical trials, and yet you never used your joy. Do you want to talk a little bit about, I know you don't like to, I think it's important for people to realize that are going through physical struggles that God's in the middle of that too. And I know sometimes you don't feel like it, but Nowana here is a testimony to that there is a separate part of you, your spirit,
Yes.
that God can feed. So what would you say about that for people who are struggling physically? That
I say cling to him with all your strength, because as it says, draw nigh unto God, and he will draw nigh unto you. He's proven that to me over and over and over. The worst can, when I'm at feeling my very worst, I feel Jesus embracing me the most and the tightest.
Amen.
And he even puts songs that I love in my heart and mind whenever I'm coughing and feeling like I'm about to keel over. I have these beautiful songs that he gives me, and I know it's the Holy Spirit
Amen.
working inside.
Yeah.
And he comforts us when you're going through those things. But what I'm telling you, just cling to him. That's the biggest thing. And because he's so merciful and compassionate. And he loves to embrace us. You'll know that when you're feeling it. He loves to embrace us.
Do you feel like when you're in that moment where you're struggling to breathe, that when God comes, does that kind of calm that down a little bit, or you're just not focused on that anymore? You're so focused on him?
You got it. That's it. It's actually, that's what I'm thinking about.
Almost like you're in your spiritual
and even
body
if it's,
almost?
even
Yeah.
if this is my last breath,
Yeah.
I feel joy. That sounds insane, but it's the physical part is so uncomfortable.
I'm sure.
It is
I
horribly
can't even
uncomfortable.
imagine. I can't imagine.
So maybe it makes it understandable that I can feel joy at those moments because I might be having to struggle for the last time.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right. And you're right. A lot of people, we have such a fear of death in this culture. And so where is our faith in God in that? And that, it's an important question, because I think we all struggle with that. We all struggle with death and, what's after, even though we know, right? But so how do we build our faith in those times where we are afraid of death? I mean, what is on the backside of that for you? I can only,
For me, it's prayer. I can still get on my knees most
all right,
of the
you
time.
go, girl. Okay, good.
And that's where I'm at, right there on the edge of the bed, on my knees.
Oh, no wonder the carpet's worn out. Prayer warrior right here.
So, and it keeps your spiritual life so alive. And reading the Word. I love
Reading
to
the
sit
Word.
there at my little table, or out on the porch is my
Yeah,
favorite
it's beautiful.
spot.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Out
Yeah.
there, because I'm a nut for birds.
I know. You got nuts and birds. I can hear them now. Yeah, they're out there singing to you. Yeah.
So, being in the Word and staying in prayer, and it also keeps the enemy out of your mind.
Okay.
The
Note to
the
self,
more,
right?
that's cute.
No, that's
It's-
important,
Yes.
How to get rid of the enemy, right?
Yes.
He doesn't like the word, especially if it's spoken properly, because he knows it too, don't forget. So we got to make sure that he's not twisting it. But if you don't leave any opening for him to get in, then it's easier to maintain that relationship, I think.
Yes. Oh,
So,
yes.
yeah.
And another thing I want everyone to know, Jody, is every blessed brother and sister in Christ that I have, all those beautiful cards you all send, and when you talk to me and we get to fellowship, and you people are precious, so loved by me, and you encourage me and you lift
Good.
me up more than you realize.
Oh, good. Good.
Really?
Better.
You
Yeah,
do.
better. Because
I
I'm
love-
talking to her sometimes and she can barely breathe and she goes, "Oh, I've been praying for you." I'm like, "Really? Wow, do you have time for that with all of your stuff going on?" So, but that's you. That is so you. And I think that's a big part of your testimony too, Nowana, is that even when it's your darkest day, you're focused on the spiritual realm, and you are who can I pray for? And I
Yeah, I
think when
love
we get our
people.
minds off of ourselves, people,
Hallelujah.
it helps us. If we get our minds off ourselves and we reach out to other people, then God can come in the backside of our heart and do work.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
we're not so focused on our junk in our trunk. But so yeah, but you have every reason to be focused on what's going on with you in the physical realm.
Yeah, well, like I said, I prefer, and he's taught us how to love. He teaches us the closer we are to him, loving other people becomes easier and easier.
Don't you think you have to love yourself, though, a little bit, too?
Well, yeah. Yes.
That's not
and
easy,
he teaches
is it?
us. That's,
No, that's not
that
easy.
one's hard. I just never look back. I consider he's made me a new creation.
That's what he says.
And
too.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because there's no time, don't go through guilt and stuff like that. It's a waste of time.
Amen.
When he has freed you, he wants you to feel that freedom. Don't be going back. And
He gives us beauty for ashes, but you can't
Yes.
keep the ashes to get
Really?
the beauty, people. So, yeah. But we do that, don't we?
Oh, yeah? Yes.
You know, we want to beat ourselves
Especially
upside
when
the head.
somebody comes along that you know they're under the influence, or, you know, it's like the old devil still tries to put it
Yeah.
in my face.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
put you
I
in
have-
circumstances where you have to be around it, which
Yes.
has been kind of my struggle lately, too. So,
Yes.
in the business that I'm in.
Right.
So,
But
you
so
know,
good
alcohol
you're doing
is
that.
everywhere, you know, so you just have to learn to stay close to him
Yes,
so that
and
Satan
flee
can go,
it.
oh, just one, you know.
No. Just
Not.
flee. Yeah.
Say no to Satan.
And turn around and run.
That's it. Run! You know, I have a new saying. I want to get a T-shirt. It says, "Don't go to Google, go to God." So
Yeah.
you can
I
almost
love
Google
that.
everything, but anyway.
I
But
love
I
that.
digress. So for those people out there who don't know you, Nowana, they're learning. This is Nowana. I just want. Do you have something that you really want to share from the Word that has been monumental in your life in overcoming everything that you've had to overcome? Is there one verse or one chapter or one, you know,
The
particular?
whole armor of God.
Oh,
To wear the whole armor of God. And so, and the word is the sword of the Spirit, which is big words there. You know, our spirit is in the battles, and so we need the word. We need it badly. And it fills us. It says this, the Spirit, okay, 6:63, I think it's John 6:63. Jesus says, the words that I speak to you are spirit and they are life. So when we're reading his word, we're getting his, it's like ingesting our food. We're ingesting spiritual food. And without it, we're going to be malnutritioned and starve. So if it's only, I know people have busy lives or good, that old devil has worked it that way or whatever life has, but take, even if it's 15 minutes in the morning, whatever time you can, God will love you for that. You know, put forth the effort to get in his word every day for just a little bit. If you can't do it longer, otherwise indulge it if you have time.
or get it
Yes.
on CD
Oh,
and put it in your
yes.
car. There's no excuse anymore. Technology. That's one. If you can't read it, if you're not a reader, some people aren't. Okay, it's available on disc. So, or on your little smartphone, which is smarter than me. That's why they call it a smartphone. But there's no excuse anymore to not get in the word, people. So we're gonna challenge you
Yeah.
to come up higher.
See, yeah, you're right. This CD, some people are too blind to read the word.
Sure. Sure.
So
Or some people just
CDs.
can't read well or whatever. You know, they can't keep their
Right.
focus or whatever. So you're dyslexic or dyslexic or whatever that word is.
Yes.
But so well, good, Nowana. So it's Sabbath day, by the way. It's February 28th, 2015. We didn't go over that, and we're getting ready shortly to go to church. We have plenty of time. What else did you want to share with your fabulous audience today?
Oh, I want to say I love my church family. It's becoming a challenge for me to make it there. Everything's becoming a challenge, but must say I still wake up with joy in my heart because of Jesus. And I'm telling you, if you're thinking you're hopeless, you're not. If he can fix me, and I was a mess. I was the 86 pounds, and had almost
Wow.
died 3 times from my addiction.
Wow.
And he rescued me from that. And he will do it for anyone. He will do it
Whosoever
for
will.
anyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
He loves all of his
That'll
babies.
call on him. We just got to realize that you don't want to live like that. What a shabby existence when he has a beautiful life for us. Even though the things that he gives you, even the little pleasures and everything, You learn to treasure these things. You really do. When you're walking with Him, you know, it puts a new light on everything. The closer you walk to Jesus, it really does. And He'll get you through your problems. That's what He loves to do. He just also loves us to call on Him, so we have to do that. And realize there's just no living without Him. He's the vine. If we're broken from the vine, what happens? We wither up and die. So
yeah, we do.
He's the way, the truth, and the life.
He is.
Which is said in His Word. And that's one I love to tell people. He's the way, the truth, and the life.
And for any of you that have been walking with the Lord any length of time, you know in your heart too that there have been times when you're really close with the Lord. Why do we lose that? What goes wrong? Where do we step away from that? And so maybe take some time with Sabbath and maybe write down a time that you felt really close to the Lord for a period of time. And then as it started to wane, what got in the way of that? It's different for everybody, but we've all been challenged with that.
Oh, yeah.
You too, Noah.
Yes, of course.
So is it shame?
Yes.
Is it, something in the world becomes your Lord and Savior? What is it for you? Is it, a relationship? For all of us, we all are challenged with something that tries to pull us away from the love of God. So if you can pinpoint what that is for you, then you can refocus and get back to where you were. But I'm trying to journal now so that I can keep track. And so then when I'm not feeling close to the Lord, I can go look at times I felt like that and see what my environment was like. Did I read extra? What did I do? Was I praying more? So that there's actually a recipe for success in everything in life, and even with walking with the Lord. So if you can pinpoint what's pulling you away and also pressing you in, then you can put that stuff away and learn how to press in.
Yes.
So it's a recipe.
That's
so
right.
Get your recipe book out in your chef hat and figure out for you, because it's different for all of us.
Yeah.
What pulls us
I'll
away.
tell you, that old TV has tried to get me.
Yeah, boy.
And it's, I'll catch myself starting to watch it more, and my spiritual life suffers. If you think it doesn't, all that wasted time in front of the TV is not good.
Ooh, she
No
must be
two
speaking-
ways about it. I'm confessing. I do that, but not often anymore. Yeah.
Lately,
You don't.
it's been turn
You
it
don't.
off. I want to throw it
Make
out
yourself.
the window. Oh my gosh! And plus now it's big and fancy and HD and sound around. Woo,
Yeah.
And I think that for me now that I'm not drinking, when instead of me pressing into the Lord when I'm feeling depressed or anxious, I watch TV to numb out. And that's no better than drinking, because I'm still doing something that's not good for me.
Yes.
So I've been noticing that lately as I've been going through some situations. Instead of pressing into God, I've been watching television. And not that I'm watching garbage, but still, I notice, I could have taken that time to press into the Lord instead of,
Well,
numbing
yeah,
out.
and as much as you love music, I
Yeah.
have CDs I love to listen to.
Yeah. And I have a piano sitting right there. I could, play it.
Yes. Music
I have
helps
no
us feel
excuse.
close to
It does.
The
It
words
does.
and the songs and
It
all.
does. So you don't necessarily have to be some major prayer warrior, okay?
No.
Some are, some aren't. But yeah, if music is your thing, however you worship, bring that into it, because it'll help you.
Yeah, it helps you spend less time doing
Yeah.
the things that are trying to get us. Yes.
Yeah. And when I exercise now, I have a praise and worship thing that I listen to on my iPod.
Oh, good.
So that I'm praising, and it's funny because I'm the most watched person at the Y because I'm raising my hand. I forget that I'm not by myself, and so people go, "Oh, you're very interesting to watch working," and I'm like, it's okay. I'm not twerking or twitching or anything. It's, but I
Praise the
forget.
Lord.
I'm in the spirit, and I forget
Yeah.
sometimes, and I'm lifting my hand.
Yay.
I'm not singing out loud anymore. I stopped doing that, but.
All right.
Because that's kind of shocking to some people. All of a sudden, when you're blurting out, "Yeah, Lord," or something, they're like, "Whoa!"
Might open their eyes a
Shoot,
little.
they might
That's
think I'm
a
from
good
Bethel or
thing.
something. That wouldn't be all that. So,
No.
anyway, well, you are a blessing to so many people, and this is going to bless our church body. And I know that you haven't gotten to know Kevin and Trish too well, our new
I
pastor.
would love that.
And they're
It's
amazing, and they're
wonderful.
going to get to know you through this too. And you're just a testimony everywhere you go to everybody, secular, non-secular, whatever. Anybody you come across, you just exude the love of the Lord and the joy of the Lord. It's
Thank you,
so
Jody,
amazing.
because that's what it's about. That's all I want him to do is use me. You know, I don't have a lot left to use, so
Yeah, bless your
I
heart.
want him to use every minute of me that's left
Yeah,
for his service, because it is all about him.
yeah,
It's all about him and the great love. The love is the biggest thing. As long as when you're loving and praying and caring about a lot of people, knowing they're doing the same, it helps you stay close to the Lord too.
and it helps you stay close to them even when they pass, waiting for the Lord.
Yes.
So,
yes.
and, you know, we've all experienced those relationships where they were close to the Lord, and you still feel their spirit inside of you.
Like your dear mama.
Yeah,
Yes, it's so
yeah.
precious.
So I
still.
hear her still in my heart saying things. So we're still
Yes.
connected. Well, we're connected because DNA, but you know what I mean? Spiritually, we get connected with people. And you know what? That doesn't go away.
No.
So if you're facing a loss of somebody, I just want to say to you, I get it. We get it. But there is a connection that just never go away. And it's a good thing. It's not always a painful, hurtful memory. There's a lot of wonderful spiritual moments that I remember with Mom. And sometimes she visits me in my dreams. And because I'm thinking about her, I'm sure. And because I don't, believe in that hooky-booky stuff. But she's still in me. She's a part of who I am and I'm becoming
yes.
as a woman. And, and you too.
Yes.
She's touched your life and she's a part of you.
She sure is.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about love. It doesn't die.
Yeah.
And that explains, like my dad, he's been dead for 15 years, but I don't ever think dead because he's in there, like you said.
Yeah, he's a part of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and always will be. We've got eternity, so
Yeah.
we'll get through this short period, so
Yeah.
hang in there.
Yeah. This is just
Hang
the
in
dress
there.
rehearsal, people. So yeah. But it's not easy, and I've watched you kind of go in and out of the hospital like a revolving door, which I'm sure is your greatest joy. But even in that, the people that you minister to, when we come to minister you, you're always ministering to somebody else. And I just want you to know that I honor you because it's a choice. And yeah, to God be all the glory.
You read my mind. I was thinking those very words as you said them.
But it's your choice that
Glory
you
to God.
exude that. You know what I mean? Because some people hide their light under a bushel. And you have never done that, even in your darkest days. There's always light around you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, thank you. I say yeah, but what I mean is that's the other thing about being an old junkie and everything. When you get clean, the joy stays. I'm telling you, you're so relieved. It's like somebody snatched you out from in front of a train or something.
Right? Yeah.
So your gratitude goes on and on.
Yeah.
It does. For what that's,
Well, no, I think that's important, and I think it's a different walk for everybody depending on what their addiction of choice is. Whether and there's a lot of addictions, people, besides chemical.
Oh yeah.
There's a list, and that's why also I just wanted to mention, I'm going to put a plug in for Celebrate Recovery, that we are starting a leadership team.
Yay.
And it's for hurts, hang-ups, and habits. But there's a lot of people that are just hurt, and so they don't know how to get through that, and it's affecting their life in some area. Maybe your thing is you're a chocoholic, shopaholic, whatever, but it's affecting your life. It's affecting your walk with God. Anything that gets in the way of that, Celebrate Recovery will address. So please don't think that it's just for people who have had an addiction to something. It's for hurts, hang-ups, and habits.
Awesome.
So I want to encourage you, and Nowana wants to encourage you.
Yes.
That we
yes.
are there for each other, and it's a private group. Nothing goes outside of that room and those walls, and we're there for each other. And it's a process that has been proven to work to help people.
Good.
Okay,
Yay.
we don't all get us suddenly like something. So I'm only a little jealous. But that being said, that sometimes God has to walk us through it in order for us to duplicate it and help other people walk through it too.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yes.
Has he ever made you actually not giving you something where you prayed about it and he just went, okay, where you actually had to walk through a process? I think that's true for all of us, isn't
Many
it? Where
times.
he gives us the strength to do it, but it's still our choice, right?
Oh, yeah.
To do it?
It is. It is. But yes, we have to wait on prayer a lot of times, and sometimes he answers it in ways we least expect. But just trust. Right? We just have to trust in him, and he'll come through for us. He always comes through for us.
So sometimes you may not see
He's
it happening
faithful.
right now, but that
Right.
doesn't mean it's not around the corner.
Right, and
Yeah.
he's always working in us. That is so encouraging.
Yeah.
as long as you're walking with him, we're growing. We're growing ever closer to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, which is yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Yes. Yay, them. Well, good, Nowana. So I just want to let you know that your church family loves you probably as much, if not more. I don't know if that's possible for us to love you more, but we're praying for you, and this is going to be a legacy that will be in the church library for years to come. It's probably something I'm going to use in Celebrate Recovery. So no matter if you have 100 years or 5 or whatever your time here is on earth, you now will live on through the magic of TV.
Well, praise the Lord. If it helps one person, then I'm delighted and
Well, you've helped me.
amazed.
So personal testimony.
Thank you, Jody.
And when I went to sober, when I went away to Passages in Ventura to get sober, I could feel your prayers.
Oh, good. Yeah, because
in
you
my
had
spirit.
lots of them.
I could
That's
feel it,
for
and
sure.
I
You
knew from
always
everybody.
do.
I'm not just hey,
Yes.
Nowana. I know a lot of you were praying for me, and I just want to let you know I really appreciate that too. So,
Yes.
and it's working. I haven't killed anybody yet.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Jody, for this. I feel honored myself that you've chosen me to do this. I've always wanted to share with people how much He can change us and how much, so they'll have hope in their lives and have new life with Him, you know, because you just don't want people suffering and living that horrible life of being in slavery and bondage.
And that's what it is too.
That's what
There's
it
no
is,
joy in it,
slavery
people.
and bondage. And
Yeah.
it takes you further and further and further down. It's not like you can say, oh, I'll get over it, it's an urge. Because I
Yeah.
remember thinking that,
Right, we all
oh, this
have
will
gone there.
pass.
Yeah,
You know, but no, that's
Yeah.
lies that you'll tell yourself
Yeah.
if you're in that life.
yeah.
There's lots
And
of
it
lies.
also is progressive. I don't care what your challenge is. It's progressive. So the longer you do it, and the longer you allow yourself, the harder it is, and more of a grip it has on you. And it can
So-
also affect you. I mean, like Nowana and I
Yes.
both been in life altering potential
Yes.
situations. So is the fact that you have diminished lung capacity related to your addiction? In any
Directly.
way?
Oh, directly.
And how would you
Oh,
say
yes.
that is a direct result from what you did? What part of
Mostly the cigarettes,
Okay.
I must say. I smoked for over 30 years.
Yeah.
Both of my parents died of cancer. My dad was only 64 and Mom was 55.
And they were smokers too?
Yes.
Or- okay.
They smoked and drank, which I did both. And then the meth, oh, it's horrible what that does to the body. Like I said, I got down to 86
Wow.
pounds.
Wow.
Hard to imagine. Look at me now and all my health.
Well,
But yeah, it's destroyed a lot of things, and I catch myself still twitching. Some people that go on meth, if you're doing it full time or too much, you actually have brain damage. Sometimes I wonder how much of that I might have gotten.
yeah,
but-
yeah, and you did, yeah. Well, tell
If
me
some
about it.
people
Menopause.
twitch.
Woohoo! I'm going through it right
Oh,
now.
no.
The brain cells have left the building. Find them, please, and bring them back. But I understand that too, and it's real. And one of the things that we learned at Passages was all the body chemistry.
Yes.
What is the physical downside to what you're doing? Whether it's eating the wrong foods, it doesn't have to be meth, alcohol, whatever. But there's a lot of things. Even stress is a big killer. So if you can't control your spending or whatever it is for you, all that stuff rolls around inside of you and affects your health. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're putting
That's
a bad
true.
substance in your body.
That's
and
true.
anything that you're doing that's creating stress in you is affecting you.
Yes.
So
That
that's
is-
another reason to knock it off.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Just say no works still, but you need some help, and that's what we're trying to do, Nowana and I, and
Yes.
through Celebrate Recovery, is we're here to help. And it's hard if you haven't walked the walk, probably to be in this kind of a ministry. And I would love for Nowana to be, and that's just
I
not to
would
be.
love
But
to.
this will be a part of this ongoing ministry. So, what else can we tell these lovely people about your
Well,
amazing?
like I said, if you're there, it's taken away from your loved ones, and you may gain your strength through that love to break free, because it's lost time you can't get back. And if you have children, like I said, they need you. They need you to be there for them. They need you sober-minded and counting on the Lord to help you guide them in this dark world. So I'm not, well, maybe I am trying to guilt you. Whatever it takes to get you clean, you know, if that's your problem, and sober if that's your problem. It's a good, wonderful, big cause, because, you know, that is the responsibility the good Lord gave us to guide our children.
Generations of
generations. Yeah. That's so true.
It's a generational curse either way, so you can make it a blessing or a curse. And that's a big responsibility, but it's an important one.
Oh, it is. And if you don't do it, it can come back and bite you. Believe me, you'll find yourself living it all over again through your kids or something if you don't fix it.
Yeah, I've seen it. We've all
seen it.
And
it's a heartache when the grandparents see the children, the grandchildren.
Yeah, right. You feel a responsibility to that.
Yes, exactly.
Because they model after us so much. I mean, we model after our parents and our grandparents.
Yes.
Because that's what we know. That's what the norm is. So yeah, that's an important point, Nowana.
Yes.
And also, when you think about it, it may seem like an overwhelming thing to get sober, clean, stop overspending, whatever your issue is, being a codependent, whatever it is. But listen, and one thing that I didn't do, which is why my sobriety took so long, is I wasn't reaching out for help. I'm a strong, hey, cool chick, you know, using my humor to cope, and you can't do it by yourself, man. We need each other. That's why there's not just one human being on the planet. We need each other, and you know, it's important. Find somebody that you can confide in that will not tell your story, and tell your story. Just getting it out sometimes helps a lot.
Yes, yes, that's important. You know, in a fire, if that one spark pops out of the fire, it just goes dead. So,
yeah.
So yes,
Satan wants to keep it hidden. So once the light hits it and it's exposed, then Satan doesn't have the power over it.
That's true. That's so true.
You know.
And the good Lord, you're helping him gain that power that's all powerful.
Yeah. So. Well, I've enjoyed spending this morning with you, precious girl.
Yes.
And we're going to actually wrap it up because we're getting ready to go to church.
Yay! So, I get to go this Sabbath.
Uh-oh. I have her in the convertible, too. So if our hair looks different when you see us later,
it's okay.
Anyway, so God bless you all. I hope this was an inspiration to you. And I hope that you get a chance to meet her. If you have not, you will meet her in heaven. And she's going to be up there moving the furniture around because she'll be able to. So... you mama. All right, well, God bless you, and happy Sabbath.
God bless you all. I love you, and just hang in there and keep praying. Keep praying. Yay. All right.